Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Saturday morning, guys. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. So, guys, really quickly, I'm going to address two email responses in one. The first one is in regards to someone who's ready to literally abort their favor because they're tired of jealousy in the things that comes with favor, being favored. And the second is someone who's extremely frustrated with the up and downs, the merry-go-round of manifestation of kingdom spouses slash purpose partners. All right, first thing. And again, everything's my opinion. Please chime in your opinion in the comment section if you would like to. In fact, I would like you to. All right, first thing, let's talk about ready to abort your favor because of all the things that come with it. Listen, my chosen one, when I read your email, honey, you was preaching to the choir. You was preaching to the choir every single thing that you stated you had been through from childhood up until now. I promise you, your girl have been there times two. All right, first let's start with aborting your favor. Well, listen, favor ain't fair, right? Favor's not fair, point blank period. But do you know how many people would love to have the favor that you have, whatever your thing is? They would love to have it. So don't abort it, right? Don't abort it. Okay. I don't even know if you can abort favor, even if you tried. I'm not even sure. But all right, my chosen one. I always say this. You already know the chosen one have been through hell all of their lives, including childhood. You had to deal with that stuff even in childhood. Either you had bullies or either you had girls who were jealous of you and just like kind of left you out of everything, or may have started rumors about you, or maybe you were just rejected altogether because you were misunderstood. Guys, I'm sorry, I forgot to turn off my notifications. Please bear with me. So when saying that, this is not new to you. You've always dealt with this. Maybe it's more profound now because now you're really, really walking in favor. And because now you understand it. Where before, when you were a child, you thought it was something wrong with you. Where now you know it's not you, but it's the favor on your life. So again, I always say God is so strategic. So in my personal opinion, I believe that we dealt with that stuff early on because it's almost like God was preparing us. So it's almost like, okay, no, you will probably never get okay with the hate, the jealousy, or whatever that you're dealing with. But if you think back on how strategically God prepared you, you dealt with a lot of that stuff early on. So now when God really releases that favor on you, yes, you're going to get that jealousy. Yes, you're going to get that hate. But it's almost like it would not break you down if you had not been strategically prepped for it like you were in the past. I know without a doubt that's for me because I spent a great majority of my life trying to make people to understand, like, oh my goodness, like I'm the world's best person, right? My spirit have always been aligned. My spirit has always been pure, but I never knew why, right? Because when you're a child, you don't know why people are jealous or just hate. You don't know. You just think that there's something wrong with you. So what happens? You spend your life trying to prove to people that you're really nice and that you're like, I really want to help you, but you're so mean to me. I don't know how to help you. You even find yourself again sometimes sitting down because you think they want to shine and you sit there and you took the back seat just to give them room to shine, and they still won't even shine because they haven't really tapped into who they truly are. They're too focused on you. And so you're just never enough. You're just never enough. And I'm going to be honest with you, sis. One thing that I've learned, and it hasn't even been that long ago, maybe 5 years ago, you will never, ever be able to convince someone about your heart and your spirit and that you're truly a good person. That's not even your job. Remember, everyone will not be for you. As a chosen one, there's a specific group of individuals that are chosen just for you to reach. This is why you can probably have the best, best pastor, best motivational speaker, best this, best that, and everybody won't gravitate towards them. Everybody's just not for you. And you're going to have to be okay with that. But as I always stress, make sure your life is private and locked, because, you're going to have, if they're throwing shade at you, let's say on your job or whatever, what would they do? What damage would they do if they had access into your personal life, into your marriage, into your this, your that, right? So do not walk away from your favor. Again, I don't even know if you can do that, but make sure your private life is under lock and key. Be very wise and use heavy, heavy discernment. Most importantly, understand that you will change no one. Understand that you are not the problem. You're not the issue. It's the light of God that shines so brightly through you. People who have not tapped into their true authentic self, their higher self, you will always intimidate them because they will feel like you got one up on them and what makes you so special. It ain't got nothing to do with that. They can have the same kind of whatever if they tap into their higher self. So do not abort your favor or your purpose or your calling or whatever you got going on because of jealous people. You will have them in your life for the rest of your life. Smile and keep it moving. That's all. Smile and keep it moving, honey. Next, to the individual who wanted me to give my opinion, all caps opinion, on frustrations of purpose partners / kingdom spouses being manifested. Not through you, but through God. Okay. After reading your email, I don't know why. Your email just made me chuckle, right? I guess I can feel your frustration through your emails. I want to say this to you really quickly. Anything, and I stress anything, person, place, or thing that God has for you is not going to be easy as pie. We think, because as humans, we're so used to making things happen, right? That when we find God or develop a relationship with God, I say, and God takes you higher, we still assume, because we're used to making things happen on our own, that it will continue. No. In fact, it will no longer continue. It will no longer continue. You will not move God's hand based on frustration. So I want to share this because I got a download when I was reading your email. Okay, so you pretty much stated God gave you a clear download on who your purpose partner is, kingdom spouse or whatever. And it looked like everything was great, and all of a sudden, you didn't specify what happened. I don't know if there was an argument, a disagreement, or I don't know why you guys kind of had this little moment, but I know you're frustrated. But when I read your email, it pretty much sounded like you're just ready to give up from it. Meaning like, you know what? God showed me this thing and it just, I thought it was great. And all of a sudden we just kind of, and it's almost like, I guess I didn't hear it from God. Sis, hear me clearly. Before God give you the manifestation of anything, you will be tested a lot. So if you know without a doubt that God has spoken to you about this individual, and now because there's a little spat or whatever happened, you're not ready to just give up. Guess what? You failed the test. You already failed your test. Anything that God said is yours, you got to stand on that. When I say stand, I'm talking about planted stand. I don't care what wind come against it, what hurricane, what tornado come against it. You got to be planted in what God has said to you. So if you're able and willing to walk away just this quick and say, well, I guess it wasn't God. Then what happens when God really manifests that thing for you and it's now solidified? And let's just say you are married and there is major purpose for both of you guys to unite and create here on earth. The first spat, you're going to walk away. So what happens a lot of times, again, because so many people are dealing with trauma triggers and things like that, and their triggers, believe it or not, from your past and your childhood at times, because why is it so easy to run when there's something petty that comes? Sometimes those are trauma triggers, and we're associating this with when that father or that mother walked away and never came back, or when that ex left and never came back and left me with children, etc. So sometimes we don't even realize that they're triggers when there's a disagreement or when something happens and boom, we're thinking back on it. Just going to leave for good. I guess that wasn't God. And the entire time that's God testing you to see if you've healed from the past. Testing you to see, do you really believe me? How much do you believe me? So, okay, you say you want this. You asked for a kingdom spouse, purpose partner, or I had that for you, right? But I'm going to really test you to see how bad you want it and what you can withstand to keep it. So before I manifest it, I'm going to throw some wind. I'm going to throw some storms. I'm going to throw some distractions. I want to see if you're going to be planted, or I'm going to see if you're going to go and date the next person because you're just annoyed because you think it's not going to work. So 2 days later, it's not going to work. Let me go back on this dating website, or let me go back to the club, try to meet somebody. Or are you going to stand planted on what God has told you? So I wanted to share that because I get a lot of messages like that. It's almost like, well, I know what I did. I heard from God, but I guess it's just not it. Honey, listen, sometimes you're going to have to be planted for months, sometimes years. It just depends on what all you got going on. If you're really messed up, if you're really carrying the spirit of generational curses and cycles and conditioning, and you got to be processed through all that stuff, if you're one that constantly gives up. Now, again, right? I toot my horn with obedience, but I'm also transparent enough to say my struggle areas, which is patience, right? And I'm getting better, but I do believe God will sometimes leave some of that stuff lingering so we can always depend on him, right? So in saying that, with obedience, if God has promised me something and I don't see it, like I will see it, but I just don't see it as fast as I want to. Everything in me, everything in my flesh says walk away. Flesh says leave, go this route. But spirit says, what did I say to you? What did I promise you? I'm watching you. I'm testing you. And if you can't pass the test, which is preparation before manifestation, why would I manifest anything? Because you're just going to run from it when it gets tough. So sis, prove to God right now in your waiting season, that you won't run because things are a little shaky. You're being watched. So again, sometimes we think we're ready, and the frustration is like, okay, well, you sure I'm ready for it. And I'm talking to myself too, because I've been there. So no judgment. That's why I'm laughing, because I'm having a flashback, right? We be sitting there, but we ready. And if you really take inventory on, and I'm sure you came a long way, because you said you had been, I guess, single for a little bit. Couldn't have been too long, because I remember hearing you emailing me about something else not too long ago. But sometimes we think that we're ready. And we really believe in our hearts that we're ready.